Okay, let's have you turn to Revelations. Okay. I think it's Revelations chapter 11. Okay, so I'm not the speaker in the second half, but oh, can someone close that door? Okay. So, but however, we removed the chair from next to the back door because the fire department doesn't want anyone sitting there in case there's a fire. So I will make the announcement. Melvin will make the announcement, and no one's sitting there now. But later on, somebody might fold out a chair and sit there. So I thought I'd just mention it more often. Okay. Usually, I fold the chair every week. Someone folds it back, and they may not know the rules. Okay. So let's look at chapter 11 and verse number 2. And it says, verse number 3, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, that they shall prophesy 1,203 scores, clothed in sackcloth. Okay. So last time we were talking about who these 2 prophets could be. And so, as I mentioned last time, God will raise up 2 great prophets, and these 2 great prophets will have unseen powers during the 3.5 years. Some think that God will bring back Moses and bring back Elijah. And they are the 2 greatest prophets in history for several reasons. And this is why many believe it's those 2. First of all, their bodies were taken directly into heaven. So they're not buried on earth. And because of that, therefore, God can bring them back. Another reason is they both have tremendous powers. So if you have to bring somebody back, bring somebody who is famous for a big... Willie, can you check to see if the heater's on? To see if they have tremendous powers because... Is it on? Oh, yeah, please. Because the Antichrist and the beast will take over, and they will claim that they are the Messiah. And now you have God sending his 2 witnesses, his 2 prophets, saying that they are not. They are just imitations. They are Satan himself. And who can you believe more than if you literally bring back Moses? Now, who doesn't know who Moses is, okay? I think the entire world knows who Moses is. Maybe not the entire world knows who Elijah is, but he's also the great prophet. And we know Moses because Moses had powers to bring the 10 plagues. All the Jews know that. They celebrate it. And Elijah had power to bring fire out of the sky. Another reason they believe that these 2 are the ones that God will bring is because of the transfiguration. So we're going to see how much you remember about transfiguration. Ivy, do you remember what happened during the transfiguration? Okay. And I will ask Fanny, do you remember what happened during the transfiguration? Okay, so Jesus brings 3 disciples up on this mountain, okay? And he brings Peter and John and James. And when they go up to the mountain, they see Moses and they see Elijah. So many feel that this is the reason. Why would Jesus bring disciples up on a mountain to meet Moses and Elijah unless something's going to happen in the future that's, going to involve Moses and Elijah? It'd be pointless to have Moses and Elijah unless something was going to happen. So this is what we call the transfiguration. And however, it could be 2 prophets who have the power of Moses and the power of Elijah, because many people thought that John the Baptist was Elijah coming back. Many people thought Jesus was Elijah coming back. And we all know John the Baptist is not Elijah, neither is Jesus Elijah. So I personally believe when the Antichrist comes, what more of a statement can God make than if he actually brings two people back from history? That would be just as, strange as, bringing back Abe Lincoln, or William William Cumberbatch. Okay, I mean, no one knows who William Cumberbatch is, but William Wilberforce. Excuse me, William Cumberbatch is the actor. Okay, actually, it's not even William, but anyway, yeah. So and it's probably no one knows who William Wilberforce is. He's the one that outlawed slavery in the British Empire. He was 15 years before Abe Lincoln, two of the greatest men that lived in our times. So make no mistake, they will have unquestionable power, so the world will know that God is still in power. He still exists. A lot of people would say, well, God doesn't exist because we haven't seen God bring any power. And God will bring Elijah, and God will bring Moses. So last time we started on a fun game. The fun game is we will write down great prophets in history and compare the miracles. Okay, so everyone gets a chance to participate. So we have Moses, we have Elijah, we have Elisha, which most of you guys probably know pretty close to nothing about. And we have Jesus. So we're going to go all around the audience, and everyone can name one miracle, and you can pick which prophet you want to name the miracle of. Okay? So if you want the challenge, you'll go for the Elisha. Okay? It's the one that no one really knows. And if you want an easy giveaway, do Jesus, because Willie's been speaking on the miracles of Jesus for the last 3 years, if you actually paid attention to his paintings. Okay, so we'll start off with Ivy, and then we'll go around. Okay, Ivy, pick one and name a miracle that person did. Okay, I was hoping you'd pick Elisha. I'll just write down blind, okay? So for those of you who know more, do the challenge. For those of you who want to, don't want the challenge, do Jesus. Okay, Gibson. Okay, Elijah, fire from heaven. Betty. Okay, very good. Red Sea, I've been speaking on Moses for about 3 years, so I figured out eventually you get him. Shang. Which one did you pick? Okay, Jesus did water and wine. Okay, wine, yeah. Okay, water, R-O-H. That's something Fanny would know. Okay, so Fanny.
Jesus cured the woman with the blood disorder.
Okay. What would you name that disease? Anemia? It was a blood disease, right? Okay. So we're going to do James. Is this tree in a way where no one can see the name Moses? Moses what? Which one? Yeah, okay, good. We need enough place for everybody. Arlene.
Elisha cured Naaman with leprosy.
Okay, very good. Leprosy. Faye.
Moses turned the river into blood.
Okay. Water. Nile. Blood. Okay, Lem.
Jesus feeding 5,000.
Fed 5,000. Okay. I remember that picture. The artist shouldn't have very many. Well, some of them, he did a good job. Jocelyn. Which prophet? She said raised from the dead.
Jesus is a girl.
Raised dead. There was a girl, right? I mean, you know, you're the artist guy. There was a. Don't you remember the little girl that was the handmaiden of somebody?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's your expertise. Okay, Sharon.
Jesus healed the lame.
This is a little bit lopsided. Everyone's doing Jesus. Okay, okay, Derek. Okay, that's good. You know what's really funny is we might run out of Jesus miracles when it comes to Eric. Eric was competing in the Bible Olympics last year, and all the kids. So we gave the younger kids a chance. We said if you're younger, you get first crack at it, and if you're older, you take the leftovers. In this particular case, it's a seating arrangement. He'll end up with leftovers. Okay, so Henry.
Jesus walked on water.
Okay. No, I'm just too lazy. He's too old. Okay, Nancy. What? Okay. Sean.
Moses won the battle by raising his arm.
That's right. Moses battle. Or the Joshua tree effect. And Brandon.
Moses turned the rod into a snake.
Okay, right. Rod to a snake, right? Okay, so we're gonna go around now. Oh yeah, Andrea didn't get a chance. Pick a prophet, name a miracle, and don't name the Jesus one. Okay. Okay. It's actually true. I'll give it. Doesn't matter. Oil. Ivy. Okay, you can't pick the Jesus one.
Moses brings hail.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. And you know, for some reason, I must have missed Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie, pick a prophet and name a miracle a prophet did, and you can do the Jesus one if you want, because this is your first round. You can't see the names? That's okay. Moses, Elijah, Elisha, Jesus, and you don't have to read this stuff. I'll just tell you whether it's taken from my distance. Which prophet did she take? Oh. Okay, so it'll be Fanny, then Arlene, and then it'll be, oh yeah. So Maggie didn't get a choice. Okay, Maggie, you can choose anything on the board.
Jesus turned water to wine.
Okay, so we have water to wine. ROH is alcohol. Okay. So did I call Fanny yet on the second round?
No. I think Elijah raised the boy from the dead.
He did. We know so little about him. When we look at his miracles, we're more and more amazed. And Arlene.
Elijah caused a 3.5-year drought.
Okay. Drought. Okay, so I think I'll stop there because it gets harder and harder. So the reason we're naming this is that when these two prophets come, they'll be doing the same miracles again. And we're not going to name all the Moses one. I already named it all for the last 3 years, but there were 10 of them. I'm not going to name the Jesus one, but okay, which miracle did you name, Brandon? The what? Oh, which Rose? You mean Elisha? Oh, snake in the rod. Okay, thanks. I am curious if this was the Bible Olympics. Can you name one more for Jesus' miracle? That was the one that he got stumped because it was a little bit unfair, but the two, Timothy and his brother Chris, grabbed the last two because they were older, and then he was stuck. And I just wanted to see whether he's stuck again. Okay, that's okay. You don't have to name it. Just be ready for the Bible Olympics, okay? So I'm going to go over the unknown person. But before I go over the unknown person, I want to tell you the relationship between Elijah and Elisha. Elijah and Elisha actually know each other. And before Elijah was taken up into heaven by a chariot, Elisha said, before you leave, can you give me double the miracle that you can do? So the miracles that Elisha does is actually surpasses Elijah. So sometimes people will wonder, why doesn't God just bring back Elisha? Because Elisha's miracles are better than Elijah's miracles. So I'm going to just have you turn to 2 Kings chapter 2, and we'll see some of the Elisha miracles. 2 Kings chapter 2. Okay, so because I started studying Elijah, and then I started saying, okay, what are the Elijah miracles? And then the more I thought about the Elijah miracles, the more I got the Elijah miracles confused with the Elisha miracles. So it's like, oh, I might as well study on the Elisha miracles because Elisha has double. And so 2 Kings 2:2. Elijah said unto Elisha, tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Bethel. And let's see where he asked for the double portion. Okay, so I'm fast forwarding the double portion part. You know what? I can't find it. So next time I will tell you where the double portion comes from. What? Verse 9. Thank you. And it came to pass, verse 9, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I am taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. Okay, so therefore, you got to see really big miracles from Elisha. And so there are several big miracles, and I'll just go down them. Okay. Verse number 12, Elisha is able to part not the Red Sea, but he parts the Jordan. Okay? So parts the Jordan River. So that's a Moses thing, right? So if it were Moses and Elisha, Moses can part the Red Sea, Moses can part seas, and Elisha parts rivers. Okay, so if you want to impress somebody in the future, I can imagine Moses parting, you know, um, I guess Lake Erie or something like that, and I can imagine Elisha parting the Mississippi River or the Nile or the four biggest rivers in the world. I think one is the Nile, the Congo, I can't remember the Yangtze, the Ganges. He's going to part one of them. Oh yeah, there were four major rivers in Africa, not four major rivers in the world. There's just too many rivers in the world. And where does it say that he parts? Verse 14. And he took the mantle of Elijah. So he took the mantle of Elijah that fell from him and smote the waters and said, "Where's the Lord God of Elijah?" And when he had smitten the waters, they parted hither and there, and Elisha went over. Okay. And Elisha, in verse number 19, heals the waters. Okay, so there was some poisonous water, and Elisha and they couldn't drink it. And then Elisha, in verse number 21, he went forth into the spring of the waters, cast salt in there, and said, "Thus said the Lord, I have healed thee waters, and there shall not be from hence any more death or barren land." So the waters were healed unto this day, according to the sayings of Elisha, which he spake. So Elisha healed water. Does any other prophet heal water? Okay, so I'll just see in the audience. Andrea, did anyone else heal water? Yeah, Moses. Moses healed water. So Moses parts the Red Sea. He parts the Jordan. He heals water. He heals water. You see how the two are in step. And what else happens? Chapter 4. Okay, chapter 4. There's this widow. So Elijah has this friend that's a good Christian, and the friend dies, but the wife doesn't have a job, and she's poor, and I believe she has a son. It says sons. She has kids, and they're going to starve. So the Elisha decides to help this widow, and he's able to. And someone said the oil. Who's the one that said the oil one? Okay, very good. Okay, so he's able to fill the pots with oil. Okay, it's almost equivalent to, who else did the oil thing? Jesus was able to turn water into wine. So Jesus said, get as many pots as you can, and he turned the water into wine. Elisha says, get as many pots as you can. He turns the water into oil. And I'm going to just end off with one more. Okay, the one more is verse number 18, chapter 4, 18. And when the child was grown, it fell on a day that when he went out to his father to the reapers, and he said unto my head, And he said unto the lad, carry him into his mother. And when they had taken him, they had brought him to his mother. And he sat on her knees until noon, and then died. Then she went up and, okay, so he died. And of course, they looked for Elijah. This is a different family, of course. And Elijah returns and heals the son. So I'm trying to find the verse where he heals the son, but let's see if we have it. Well, you know, I ran out of time. We'll do it next time. So we're going to write down heals, resurrects, also raise the dead. And from my memory, did anyone else raise anyone from the, okay, Jesus doesn't count, okay? Does anyone else raise someone from the dead? So I'm trying to make my case, maybe it's Elisha, but Elisha wasn't at the transfiguration. That's the biggest point. But I'm sure if God brought back Elisha, which he could, Elisha will raise someone from the dead. And that will be very impressive to the world. And they will say, oh, you know what? No one can raise anyone from the dead except Jesus, but this man must be from God also. Okay, so let's bow for a word of prayer. Okay, dear God, we want to thank you that we're learning so much about the book of Revelation. You're going to bring these two prophets in the future, and we're studying our prophets now because we don't even remember our prophets of the past. But if we remember the prophets of the past, we can more relate to the prophets of the future. We want to thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, great. There. And you guys have a break. I will be on the youth side. Oh, yeah. And here's another announcement. This coming Wednesday, I'm going to the Amazon. So, yeah, I'm praying that I don't die in the Amazon or get malaria, yellow fever, piranhas, poisonous snakes, crash in the jungles, or anything like that. Okay, so